All right, so you may or may not have heard of the other ratios that we have, but secant is really just the reciprocal of the cosine. So the secant, if you're looking at a diagram, is really the hypotenuse over the adjacent. Or ha. For the cosecant, it is really just the reciprocal of the sine. So it's really the hypotenuse over the opposite. And then the cotangent is really 1 over the tangent, which is really just the, instead of opposite over the adjacent, it's the adjacent over the opposite. So we need to remember which ones goes with that, what. The cotangent and the tangent, I think, makes a lot of sense that those go together. I always think of it as the one that starts with S goes with the C, and then the one that starts with C goes with the S. So they kind of go with the opposite letter there. So what we're talking about here is the secant of 135, which means we're really wanting to know about the cosine of 135. So the cosine of 135 is negative root 2 over 2. Well, negative root 2 over 2, if you flip it, becomes 2 over root 2. So that would be our answer. Now, we do need to simplify that a little bit. So if I multiply both the top and the bottom by root 2, I end up getting 2 root 2 over 2, which ends up being just plain old 2. So the actual answer for this is a negative root 2. So again, we're rationalizing the denominator, multiplying by the root 2 over root 2 to make that happen. So let's talk about a secant of 4 pi over 3. 4 pi over 3 is right here, this location, and we're talking about the secant, so we're talking about the cosine, and the cosine of our secant is negative 1/2. And then I want to flip that, which gives me a negative 2. So then we're talking about 315. The 315 is here. Cosecant means we want 1 over our sine, and our sine of this is negative root 2 over 2. And way back, when I flip that, I end up getting 2 over root 2. But we just determined up here that that really ends up being negative root 2 when you're finished, kind of simplifying that. Cosecant. Cosecant goes with sine, and that is 60. So the sine of 60 is root 3 over 2, positive. We're flipping that, which is 2 over root 3. And then we do need to rationalize the denominator, which gives us 2 root 3 over 3. All right, so then we're at cotangent. Gotta love cotangent. So cotangent of this guy right here. So first of all, with cotangent, remember the tangent is equal to the sine over the cosine. So the cotangent is equal to the cosine over the sine. So we need to be talking about this. Are we at 2 pi over 3? Yeah. But this guy right here, the cosine is negative 1/2, and the sine is positive root 3 over 2. So remember, division means multiplied by the reciprocal, which gives us negative 1 over root 3. Technically, we're not supposed to have a root 3 on the bottom, so we end up getting root 3 over 3. When we're finished, it is negative, because we have a negative divided by a positive. So that would be negative root 3 over 3. All right, here is our last one here. We have cotangent of 180. So remember, cotangent is the cosine over the sine, or the tangent flipped over. And 180 here, the sine is 0, it's touching. And the cosine is negative 1. And you guys remember what happens when you have a 0 in the denominator? Hopefully, it is undefined. And so that would be our answer. Cool beans.